Hello.
So, like we shared in our other video, the first video on this series, Stretched and Marks is about how we have been stretched to be able to contain capacity. And in this particular instance, we're talking about our journey as parents. So, my name is Perpetual,
And my name is Rudolph.
and together from Love, Faith,
Faith and
and
Passion.
Passion. So we're just going to talk about. We've talked about how we've talked about the decision to have a baby. Now we're going to talk about a bit of our pregnancy journey, our journey, and also when the baby arrived, like just the adjustments that we've had to make, and certain things we'd like to share to enlighten other people, just to help them on their journey. So I don't know if my husband is ready or.
Okay, maybe I can start. For me, the pregnancy journey was one full of excitement. I also had my moments where I was quite unsure, quite frightened, if I may put it that way, of the unknown. Where you don't really know. So, what do we expect in this first trimester? What do you expect in the second trimester? And I remember how your body also went through different changes, and how towards the end it was not really easy for you. And yeah, just watching you be uncomfortable was quite difficult for me as well, because when you love someone so much, the last thing you want is just to see them uncomfortable, or to see them struggling. So for me, it was I also got to a point where I felt like, okay, uh, the baby just needs to come so that we can start dealing with a new chapter. Yeah, but it was one full of joy, because just realizing that we have created a whole new person, through our love. Something beautiful has come as a result. I remember one of the things that I really enjoyed is, I think in the third trimester we decided to take a walk. I think we've got a few of those
I
pictures.
remember that day. Jeez.
Yeah, we decided to take a walk because I love taking walks. So I was like, maybe let's just go for a walk outside. We also knew that it was good for us to remain healthy in that season. So we took a walk, took some pictures, just the two of us, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah. For me, I think the pregnancy journey, there was so much learned.
Yeah.
First of all, in the first trimester, I think the first 1 or 2 months, I was so sick. Remember, I couldn't eat. Um, I was, I think I was just eating about a meal per day, and I was eating very little, so I shed so much weight in the first trimester. I had this breakout on my face, and I remember struggling so much. I'll be at work, and sometimes I'll just be so weak throughout the day. And I remember just going to God in prayer. I had read the book Supernatural Childbirth, and I started making certain declarations to say, Lord, I don't think this is your heart for pregnancy. After what was done on Calvary, we are, we are supposed to go through this with ease because it's a natural process. And I started to declare certain things. I said my body will function the way it's supposed to function. And I'm going to go through this pregnancy without so much struggle. And I began to hold on to that word. There's a portion of scripture in Psalms that talks about children being an inheritance from the Lord. And I started declaring that word, and before you know it, I stopped getting sick. And that was before we even entered the trimester. And also, still on the pregnancy journey, I remember how, sometimes you look up this, you look at these posts on Facebook about pregnancy, and with the way our friends and their systems work, I started getting a lot of my feed was now filled with pregnancy. And one of the things that opened up for me, and maybe let me just put it like this: every single time we expose ourselves to certain things, doors are opened. So in my case, a door was opened to a whole new world about the life of being pregnant, about a life of an expecting mother. And some of the things that came up were actually very scary. So you will see a post about a lady who's just had a stillborn, and it started messing with my head. And I was like, oh my God, what if I have a stillborn? It's not that the other person was unlucky and I'm better. What if my child is born a certain way? What if she's not okay? And with all this technology at our fingertips, I remember just googling 4D scan, and one of the things that came up are scary things, and I started to get really, really frightened. And I remember the Lord just ministered to me and said, stop looking at these things. Stop opening yourself up to all these things, because they will create a narrative for you. So I stopped looking at whatever was on Facebook, and I think my feed started getting cleaner by the day. And I started just thinking, okay, Lord, I'm just gonna wait on you, because when you're pregnant, you don't know if the baby is okay. Of course, you can tell because someone tell you, oh, the baby is kicking, things are like this, you're doing okay. But really, you don't know. And especially for a first time mom, I had so many fears. So many fears. I'm like, am I taking enough of the nutrients that I needed for me and the baby? Because also for me, I never had cravings. I never had crazy cravings. I didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I want sour milk in the middle of the night. I never had those. So I was thinking, is this normal? But I did like that T-bone from Mateleto and tripe offers. So there were all these things. And for me, I just think that as you are on your journey to become a mother, or when you're expecting, don't open yourself up to all these things, because they start making you panic and live in fear, and it's not even healthy for you. Like there were so many times, because also my bump didn't go all the way up here. It sat low. So every time I went to the hospital, someone said, your bump is too small for 6 months.
I remember.
I remember just thinking, oh my God, maybe I'm not okay. You remember that hospital visit where that lady said, that's so small for a 6-month-old pregnancy. And I remember just walking out, because Pastor P is a nurse, and I was like, babe, are we okay? Do you think? And you're like, no, you're fine, don't worry about it. So like there's so many things that come at you even as you're on this journey, so you need to be so deliberate about protecting your faith and what you're believing God for. Some days I had to go back to God and say, Lord, I know this baby is okay, but just help me, because I'm beginning to panic. I'm getting scared. Sometimes, like one time, this other lady, a grown lady, just in the road, she was like, your belly has dropped, you're about to deliver. And I was 7 months pregnant. So I'm thinking maybe my baby will be a preemie. How will I handle that? So, just letting yourself to get open to all these things will give you unnecessary pressure. So be careful what you look out for online. Also be careful to be quick to reject certain reports. I remember one of my workmates, we were pregnant at the same time. And you know how sometimes you'll be having lunch with other workmates and people would just be throwing in conversation, and people were talking about scary labor stories. And she was like, no, you're not going to say that. That's your story. Sorry it happened, but it's not going to happen now. And she kind of brought me to a place where I was able to say, that is not the report of the Lord over me. Not that I'm better than you, but because God has spoken over this thing, and I know that His word is true, so I will hold on to His word. Scary, scary stories. Like I delivered on a bench, and I'm like, oh my God. Private hospitals are the worst, and I'm thinking I am so scared of certain hospitals. So what am I gonna do? So all those things. So for me, that was the pregnancy journey.
And one thing that I also remember that I think would be important to share during our pregnancy period, we did have scriptures that we stood on, and we prayed over our child, and things that we believed we would want to see in our child. I remember how going down to even her features. I remember you kept on saying, I want a baby that looks like her dad, but no, let her have this of mine, but let her have this of yours. And amazingly, those are the very things that we saw coming to pass. Down to her temperament, we prayed for a happy child. There are so many people who have come to us saying, oh my God, Ruba is always smiling. The happy child, how's the smiling baby? And we prayed for that. We said that we pray for a child that is full of joy, a child who is always laughing, a child with a warm heart, who will grow up in the knowledge of you. And that is exactly what we have seen happening. It's amazing how even at such a little age, she really listens. Of course she's a baby, and that's all right. That she has her moments. But you can tell that she's sincere about, okay, am I doing the right thing here? She'll break something and she'll look at you. She's so many things that we prayed for. And so it just speaks to me how when you are pregnant as a couple, continue to stand on the word of God and speak life and speak over your child. Speak to your child even when she's or he's in the womb, because in that very space, children are very sensitive, because they are in this space where they are not yet in the physical, and they're still so in tune with the spirit realm. So they're very sensitive to our voices, especially when we stand on the word of God and begin to declare certain things. So I think that's very important. If you're having a child, that's something that you should really do. Yeah.
Wow, I remember those prayers, because one thing I was very particular about, even as I prayed, it may sound silly, but I said I want this baby to have the father's feet. And true to God, her feet are just like the father. And I was like, wow, Lord, so you care about the detail, what matters to us. And also, one of the things that during pregnancy, the Lord began to minister to me was the need to let go of the loss that I had suffered. To just be able to go through this pregnancy journey without referencing her to what had happened. And remember how for me I wanted a boy and you wanted a girl, but anyway, you were just not, and I remember just, being fired up. I'm like, this is a boy. And I wasn't even looking at baby girl clothes. For me, it was just a boy. Not even because our culture says the first, or parts of our culture say it should be a boy as a firstborn. But because for me, I don't know, I just felt that, it's a boy. And it's in that moment that I learned that it's with time that you realize that God would have spoken, or it was your desires that led you. Because for me, I learned with time that it was my desires for a son that made me believe that I heard from the Lord. So it is in waiting that I realized, what, it was just my heart, and it wasn't even God. I missed God at this point. So we went for the scan, and for me, I was geared to hear that it's a boy. And the nurse looks up and she's like, it's a girl. And Pastor P could not even hold himself. We drove all the way from the hospital to my workplace. That's when he was like, oh, by the way, how are you doing? For me, I'm so excited. And I was like, oh my God, he is so happy. It was very sincere. And, I began to just think, okay, what does this mean? And it's when you started to share with me that, what? A child is a child, and she is a gift from God. Unless you have not suffered the pain of a loss of a child, you will start thinking, a boy is more important, a girl is more important. And I was like, wow, Lord, through it all, you remain faithful to show us your heart. So, yeah.
And maybe before we conclude the video, I would want to find from you, how was it, going through pregnancy and having your body go through so many changes? From your perspective, how was that for you, and how did you deal with the changes that came about? How did you cope?
When I was pregnant, I didn't see the change. I thought my face was still fine. Of course, every now and then someone tell you, "Oh, your camera nose,"
Yeah.
but it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And also because I couldn't see certain parts of my body, it wasn't shocking for me. And I remember how I wanted a bigger bump. Like I was just, where can it get bigger? I wanted a bigger bump. It's only after I delivered that I realized what had happened to my body. Because now I could see that, okay, in my, what's this called? Behind behind here where the stretch marks usually. I saw these huge black stretch marks. And I was like, wait, what? When did that happen? And I remember you told me that they've been there for a while, but I didn't want you to start getting depressed about it. And I was so grateful for that day because those things bothered me. Every morning I would wake up and I'm like, they're still there because there were so many, and even around my waist here, they were there. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my God, will my body ever go back to what it was? And also how 6 weeks after the baby, there's still come a bump. And for someone who's had a flat tummy all my life, that was a bit hard. And also now, after the baby, I lost the baby weight. Then that Christmas period, when I was eating like there's no tomorrow, I just boom. And I remember going to church one day and one of the girls was like, oh my God, you ballooned. And I was like, I didn't notice all that. I didn't notice that I'd gained weight. Honestly, that's when I became self-conscious. Like, oh, my body has changed. And of course, at first, it was very hard. Because now I'm trying to wear all my old clothes and they can't fit. And I'm trying to see myself and my body has changed. So that part was very hard. It was, and the Lord began to minister to me about the need now, if I want to lose weight, for it to come from a wholesome place. I'm so grateful to God that He's never let me go really somewhere by myself. He's always kind of like pulling me back, like, come back, you're going too far. And I remember just starting to work out, and I was very sure that I wasn't going to give myself timelines. I wasn't going to pressure myself. If I want to eat something, I will eat something. But I also was very concerned about my portions. And I'm grateful to friends. I'm grateful to friends who want to do a journey with you. So one of my, I don't even think I should call her friend. She's older than me. So one of my big sisters opened a group, and there's just the three of us there. So we're accountable to each other, where you post every meal and people laugh at me. I'll be in the canteen at work. I'm like, I have to send this, otherwise someone will shout at me. So we send those pictures, and it has helped me stay accountable, and it has helped me change my eating. So like, even wherever I am, I take a picture of the food and send. Even if like sometimes it will be a lot and they'll be like, you've eaten too much. But it helped me. We encourage each other to work out, and nobody is under pressure to become a size 8, size 6. So that's made it very easy for me. Otherwise, just realizing that I'll never have the model body, probably, it kind of bothered me. And I was beginning to think, okay, so what does Pastor P think? Like, how does he feel about my body now? That's why I came to ask you to say, okay, so are you comfortable? Because for me, it's not so much about, my husband will go find another woman. But I want to know that you are comfortable, because for me, how you feel matters. Not that you've ever pressured me, but just, maintaining a certain outlook, and not only for health reasons, but also for me to be able to have my confidence. Sometimes we say no, beauty is inward, but there's something you can do about certain things. So I came to you and I asked, and you're like, you know what, I really don't mind. And I could feel the sincerity in what you said. So even when I work out, I'm not like, my husband wants me to lose weight, or my husband wants me to be a certain figure. So yeah, that's been my journey in adjusting.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I asked that question is because I think it's very important to realize the fact that pregnancy is a big deal when you look at the impact that it has on the body. And I feel that at times people put themselves under a lot of pressure to look a certain way, sometimes even during the pregnancy and even after the pregnancy. You know that I've forgotten the term, but there's some term, you know, about a quick comeback, like
it's called
all
the
of a sudden,
snapback.
oh, the snapback. Oh my God.
Is it the snapback? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that it's important to just accept and to come to terms with the fact that the body goes through a lot. The woman's body goes through a lot in order to accommodate an entirely new human being, you know, and it's okay to take some time for your body to get back to its usual or what it was used to before the pregnancy. There's no need to you know, beat yourself up. There's no need for you to feel uncomfortable. There's no need for you to feel under pressure, like you're saying, that even when you do desire to now get back to your old self, it has to come from a wholesome place and not from an insecure place. And I just thought that that is important, because also because of social media, people will you know, post like pictures where 2 weeks later someone is like, you know, they are small and what, and you look at them like, but is that really realistic? Because certain celebrities, you don't really know the extent that they go in order for them to attain, you know, those results. So it's important, I think, just not to put ourselves under pressure, and for husbands as well to be supportive, especially in that period after, immediately after the pregnancy. I think there's so much that we could say, but maybe for the sake of the video, we might need to end somewhere here. I don't know what you think.
Okay, so we hope this video helps somebody. Really, our heart is that people may go through certain things with knowledge and with a level of ease. With knowing that, you know what, you're not by yourself. Somebody has gone through it, and you can run with certain things. You know, for me, my insecurity with my body came from the outside. Like, I was good. Until people said, "Oh my God, your cheeks, your cheeks," and you're just there thinking, okay, so maybe I'm looking bad. So you don't have to feel like that. You know, you're fine. You're gonna come back. It's taken a whole 9 months of your body going through changes. You won't come back. Maybe some people, their genes are good enough to come back quickly, but maybe you will take a bit of time, even a year, but you will be fine. So don't be under pressure. You know, don't pressure yourself. I don't know if I can say it in any other way. So thank you so much for watching the video.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so today it looks like we focus more on the pregnancy part and our journey on pregnancy. So we will look forward to sharing other parts maybe after the pregnancy and how that went as well. We really hope that, like my wife said, these videos empower you even as you go on with your own journey, in order to do it in a way that is unique to you, but with knowledge and wisdom.
So don't forget to subscribe, invite your friends, like, share, leave us a comment. We want to hear from you. Also, if there's something that you would like us to cover on the Stretch the Mark series, we would be so glad to just, you know, hear from you. So let us know. Share with your friends. There's so many people struggling, drinking all sorts of things. Just, you know, the belly will go in how many days, but do you know the impact to the body? So let us know all those things. We'd love to hear from you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for watching.